What's up, fishing family? We are back for another episode of Winter Quest. Man, we're getting to the tail end of this. So today we're going to be discussing that winter transition into spring. We're getting really close, how we need to fish it. It's a tough time to fish because these fish are going to start getting activated. They're going to start moving, but we have to know how to try to target them so that we still maintain some success. But this is a time when you can catch some really big creek smallies. These guys are pushing in from the river. These are going to be some monsters. All right, let's get into it. So when we're talking about the late winter to early spring transition, this is the time of year when we can find some really big fish. I'm telling you, some big guys. But there's a little difficulty there because these fish are starting to migrate with these temperatures warming up, and it's tough to find them as they get spread out. We just don't know how fast they move. Now, not all creeks are the same. Some creeks that you fish, it might be a 3 or 4 mile creek. Others might be 50, 60, 70 miles. And those become more difficult because we're trying to determine how fast and how far those fish are migrating in through those sections of the creeks. So for me, during this time of year, I'm going to use barometric pressure. It's going to be absolutely critical. It already carries a lot of weight when it comes to that winter creek fishing because there's just two factors that's working against us. You got still those cold water temperatures, plus on those days, maybe where you have high barometric pressure, you got that double whammy working against you. So I'm going to really follow barometric pressure during this time of year to help clue me in on where I should be fishing in those creeks, how I need to be fishing those creeks, what lures I need to be throwing. If I'm doing those items, it's going to save me that time versus I'm just aimlessly working through sections. There might be sections on a high pressure day where it's low, fast moving current. I don't need to waste time in there. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to throw a couple casts in there just to double check myself, but for the most part, I need to be focusing on those deeper pockets. I've still got those colder temperatures. So colder temperatures coupled with high pressure, definitely those fish are going to move into those deeper areas. Still work it slow like we've been doing through winter because that's the same way we're going to be fishing on those high pressure days anyway. So we can use that to our benefit. It's going to save us time. Now on those low pressure days, I'm going to focus more in my current around those shallow sections, fast moving water, focus on the eddies. Those fish are going to actively be looking for fish, so we know that they're going to move up into those shallow sections and be feeding up. So with all that information, the next thing that you can do during this time period to really help maximize the opportunity to really find some of these big fish is to go to where those creeks terminate out into the rivers or reservoirs. Work from there back. If you've got a 50-mile creek, don't start way up at the 25-mile mark and try to fish in there. Go closer to that river because you know those fish, when we start having these temperatures that stop dipping below 40, 45 at night, that water temperature starts to creep up out of the 40s and gets into the 50s, we know those bigger fish are going to start migrating into the creeks, getting ready for that pre-spawn. So there's where we're going to capitalize on it. If we're using barometric pressure in conjunction with fishing the right locations, man, we can find some really big fish. So I'm going to show you a couple clips today. Here's what I'm starting out. I'm trying to determine right now when and how far our fish are moving in. So I'm going to be fishing 2 creeks today. Started out the first creek, I made a bad call. The creek was a lot lower than what I was anticipating. I had already looked at my flow chart, knew roughly where the water levels were based on where I had fished that creek about a year ago. The one thing that I did not take into consideration was how much river gravel had actually filled in that creek. As you can see here, man, these creeks are just getting so filled in with this river gravel, and that's really ruining a lot of our deep pockets. That also leads to lower water levels. So when those fish are trying to migrate in, if you're already dealing with low water conditions on top of all this river gravel that's already starting to fill in, it's once again, it's double whammy that's working against us. I'm going to play a couple clips for you just to let you see how I kind of go through this, how I'm breaking it down in my head. You'll hear me talking about, hey, maybe are the fish setting here? This water level's low, my water clarity's high, I'm not finding my deep pockets. It's me kind of going through this thought process of trying to locate, are the fish there and where they're going to be setting. All right, so I want to say 3 years ago I came out here March 1st, and that season the water levels were a lot higher, but I caught 10 fish that day out of here and a lot further upstream. Another thing I'm not seeing in here, I'm not seeing a lot of bait fish. That's not a good sign. I'm just not seeing bait fish or anything. That's not good. I want to see bait fish if I'm not even seeing bait fish. I think I chose the wrong creek. All right, so based on what conditions I'm dealing with today, I've got skunk so far, not finding any fish. I'm going to use that information to my benefit. I know that I can learn from this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pack up. I'm going to go to lower elevation. I'm going to go find a little bit wider creek. There's one creek that I'd already checked on the flow charts earlier this morning. I know that the cubic feet per second there is higher than this creek. So we're going to head down there. We're going to see if we can turn this day around. Once again, I'm going to focus on those sections that are going to terminate out into the creek, those 1, 2, 3 mile sections. I want to get as close to that river as I possibly can with what access I have, and we're going to see if we can find some big fish. All right, let's get to it. Check this out. Oh, yes, sir. Check it out. First shed. Hey. This one got broke. Huh, interesting. And that hasn't been long shed because I can still see a little bit of remnants of blood right there. Very cool, nice. Well, the first creek was an absolute strikeout. I think it was mainly because of the water levels that was really working against me. It was a high pressure day as well, but during this time frame, we have to stay mobile. That's another thing that I mentioned in my barometric pressure video. On those high pressure days, you know, we've got to keep that mindset of, hey, I already know my conditions are gonna be tough, so I'm already preparing myself that I might not catch a lot of fish today. But just because I'm not gonna catch a lot of fish doesn't mean I'm just gonna sit in one spot. So on those high pressure days, if I'm already doing all the things that I should be doing, I'm fishing that bottom contact lures, something like a Ned rig, Texas rig, Carolina rig. I'm fishing those subtle colors. I've scaled down my bait profile, something, you know, like these mini tubes, something small. I'm working them around structure and working them really slow. I'm going to continue to work this like I would be working them in the colder winter months, but until I can really tell those fish have activated and really go aggressive, then I'll start changing up some of my tactics. But until that time happens, I'm going to continue to fish it really slow, especially on those high pressure days. I just hooked into something big. I don't know what in the world this is. This is fighting extremely hard. Whoa, what is this? I haven't even seen it yet. I don't know what this is. Is this a dang catfish or something? Or is this a smallie? It's a smallie. Oh my gosh. It's a good smallie. It's a good smallie. Come here, but come here, come here. Oh my Lord, guys. Look at this monster smallie. Look at that monster. Oh my gosh, let's get him back in there. Let me see. He's pushing 19. Pushing 19. All right, buddy. Sorry to play with you. Sorry to mess with you so much. Get on back up there, buddy. Man, thank you, Lord, for that fish. And thank you, Mr. Marcus, for the old Helga monster. Man, that did some work on that big smallie. Wow. PB for this winter. Wow. What an awesome fish. All right, so I go back to the drawing board and I figure out what factors were working against me at that first creek. Why did I not catch fish? Was it the low water levels? Was it the additional gravel that had filled in there? Was it the high barometric pressure? Was I in the wrong location? I really feel like on that given day, it was just that the water levels were really working against me, and those fish really were not able to migrate up into that as easily. So they'll generally wait until maybe a low pressure system comes in, they get some water levels rising from a storm that pushes through, and then they'll take that opportunity to go ahead and move up into those sections, and then they'll stage as the temperatures start to warm up. So what I did was, I thought, well, I'm gonna go to lower elevation and I'm gonna try out a little bit wider creek, but I'm still going to stick with the theme that I want to fish close to where that creek terminates out into its river or its reservoir. I'm anticipating, I know that those fish are going to turn on at some point, and our water temperatures here now have already ticked slightly over 50. We got to about 50.1 in this one creek. Now, the first creek that I had fished, I think, was a little bit colder. That might have been the other part, that the fish are just a couple degrees off from activating to where they really start moving. Maybe that's just a Trey thought, but I will keep up with things like that so that when next year comes around, I'll start looking at those water temperatures. I'll know what my daytime temperatures are. When those temperatures stop dropping below 45, I'll know, hey, we're getting ready. Big fish season is about on us, and then I'll change up my tactics. That's when I'm going to start focusing more at those terminal sections of the creek, and I'll start working back. As I'm getting bites, I will also go back and test that. So today, I'm out with a buddy, Chris. We're testing sections further up the creek. So I had a lot of success about 3 miles to the termination point. So now what I'm doing is I'm starting to work further up through the creek, 5 miles, 10 miles, 15 miles, and I'm trying to see the quality of fish. Does that change? And I've already noticed that, yes, there's a section we fished earlier this week. It's about 25 miles up from its termination point. We didn't catch a bunch of fish. It was probably like 6 or 7, but they were all small guys. There you go, guys. I'm saying we're in this upper section and we're just catching the little dinker guys, kind of like B-Mac size fish. You know what I'm talking about, B-Mac. You're in luck, buddy. You don't have to worry. If you fish these tubes, you'll still be able to catch your small fish. I love you, B-Mac. But what that told me was the big guys haven't pushed in this far yet. Plus, I also went back and tested out some of those wintering pockets that were producing this winter, where I was catching some of those 15, 16-inch guys. Well, to my surprise, there were only small guys there in that pocket when we fished it. So that kind of tells me, I think that those guys maybe have already started pushing further up into the creek where they will spend their summer months at. That's just a thought, but that's how I kind of work through this. If you use these tactics, use your barometric pressure, focus closer on those sections where those creeks are terminating out to the river, I think you guys are going to get lucky and find some really big fish. So this is the time frame, generally from March to about the middle of May, when I tend to catch my larger smallmouth in the creeks or my largemouth. It's that time frame. All right, so let's jump into this. We're going to get to fishing. We're at our second creek. I think we're going to find some big fish. Let's see. Let's see here. Well, maybe this stream is going to work out good for this late winter kind of. We're really this isn't even spring, but we're getting ready to get into that transition. This is a tough time. These fish are going to be moving, and you're going to have to really be on your ball game, kind of figuring out how fast and how far they're going to be moving during this time frame. Now, when bass are warm, they can travel up to 5 miles in a day. So there's another bite right there. Something over there just keeps, again, it's tick, 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 tick. Make sure it's not on there. It is on there. It is on there. All right, that's a pretty good fish. That's another good one. Let me ease him in. It's another smallie. Come here, bud. All right, come here, come here, come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Come here, come here, come here, come here, come here, buddy. Come here. All right. There's another one on the Helga Monster. All right, buddy. Let's get you undone. Let's get you on your way. Thank you, buddy. All right, there's number 2. Get on, buddy. Going back out there. All right. This is working good. I think I would have wasted my time at that other stream. I could have sat down there the rest of the day. There were a couple of those spots I could have fished, but I really, just the lack of bait fish that I was seeing and the low water levels, I feel like that's going to impede some of that migration into this late winter phase. They will start pushing in here when you start getting these warmer days. I will start seeing the fish start pushing more up in the creek around the last week of February, kind of first week of March. And what's crazy, it's pretty bright today. There's not a lot of structure out here. I'm really surprised these fish are sitting in this section, honestly. I'm a little surprised. All right, something's just picked it up. Decent fish, decent fish. Come here, bud. I ain't seen him yet. He's staying down. These fish are staying down. Oh, another good one. Another good smallie. Another good smallie for sure. Wow. Come here, bud. Come here. Let's go ahead and land you. Let's go ahead and land you, bud. Another big one. Another big one. Come here, bud. Come here. Let's not get you on the rocks. Let's not get you on the rocks. Another monster on the Helga monster. Whoa. Yes. Look at that, baby. Oh, my goodness. That's a big boy. All right, let's get him in the water real quick. I don't like to hold these guys out of water too long. All right, buddy, hang on. Hang on, buddy. Get you back in the water. Get you unhooked. There we go. Wow. Look at that big old boy. Man, these guys are fat. Look at that. That's almost 7 inches across his back. Wow. How big are you, buddy? Real quick. Here. About another 18. Well, let's get on your way. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, bud. Those XL Helga monsters by Ned Wacky, man, I like these. They're a little bit bigger than your Nico. I think these are 4 inches. Man, look at how soft these are. And I've caught 4 good fish on it. Right now, I've got it rigged up with this Texas rig with a cheb weight on it, 2 gram cheb weight. And I'm not showing any damage on it so far. So I really like rigging it this way. It seems to extend the life of these. So, hey, that's a win-win. Wow, man, I like these. That was a good fish. That's a thick smallmouth for creeks. These smallies, man, they have a lot tougher life out here in these creeks versus out in your rivers or your reservoirs. They're strong, and I will say that. They are strong as all get out because they fight current and things that they're not going to be fighting in reservoirs. Oh my God, there's another one. Something else just picked it up. Oh gosh, this is another big one. Oh my gosh, this is a big fish. This is a big one. Oh my golly, he's jumping all over the place. Golly, stay down, stay down, stay down. I can't get this guy to stay down, man. He is jumping all over the place. Come here, bud. Come here, come here. Come here, bud. God, this fish is fighting so hard. Come here, bud. Come here, come here. Oh my Lord. 3 big fish today. Hang on, buddy. Hang on, hang on. Hang on, buddy. Hang on, hang on. Trying not to put tension on my rod. Come here, buddy. Oh my Lord. Look at this. Another Goliath. Oh my goodness. All right, let's get you back in the water. Oh my goodness, look at that. What a big fish. What a big fish. All right, come here, buddy. Let's get you back down in here. Oh my Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Look at, oh my gosh. Look at that fish. What a monster. Hang on, bud. What are you? That's a 20. There's a 20 right there. Oh my goodness, he's big. Sorry, buddy. I got your lip pretty good. Get on, buddy. That was a 20-inch smallie. I've already got the first one with a 19. That dude was fighting hard, jumping out of the water. Now the other ones are staying down today, but that guy, that was a strong fish. Oh my gosh, that was a strong fish. Wow. I mean, look at that. Not one tear on. Well, I got one little antenna that's missing. Uh-oh. But that was a big fight right there, man. Wow. I'm telling you, the big guys are pushing in here. That's what's happening. All right, one thing I want to mention, why it's so important to follow your environmental factors. That way you know exactly how to fish on those days. That barometric pressure, all those things tell me, hey, I know what the fish should be doing today, where they should be at. And then I get to the spot. This morning I messed up. I went out there, I thought the water was going to be higher than what it was. I looked at the flow, I knew what the flow was, but this creek is filled in with so much gravel that now I'm going to have to adjust that number in my mind so that I know, hey, if it's 76 cubic feet per second, that's not enough. It's going to have to be like up at about 110 now because of that additional gravel. But if you're doing all the things you should be doing and you're not catching fish, or you're not even seeing fish, and the big thing for me in that stream earlier was just, I wasn't seeing bait fish anywhere. And then finally I started seeing a couple here and there, but it just wasn't any concentration. So I said, you know what? It's 11 o'clock. I'm gonna cut bait. I'm going to another stream. I'm not gonna sit here and just beat a dead horse. And thank the Lord. Came to another stream, about the same thing. What I'm looking for today are two streams that are with, one was about 2 miles from where it terminates into the river. The other, I fished two sections. One was about 5 miles from where it terminated. The other was about a mile. This stream, soon as I showed up, instantly saw bait fish. Just bait fish everywhere. I was like, all right, that's already a good indicator for me. Now I'm just going to fish the way I need to fish. It's a high pressure day. I'm going to fish it slow. Bottom contact with the Helga Monster. I mean, this thing, I haven't even changed this. This has just been absolutely gangbusters, so there's no reason to change up. I've got that bottom contact that I need, and man, it's paid off. Thank you, Lord. Man, 18, 19, 20, and a tagged fish. I caught a tagged fish. I caught a tagged fish. Oh my goodness, I've got a tagged fish. I'm wondering if they're still paying for them. Tagged fish with my Helga Monster. Man, thank you, Lord, for giving me the wisdom to come to this spot. If I hadn't come here, I would not have turned my day around. And man, it has turned out to be an impressive day. Thank you, Lord. Wow. And it's getting windy. Till next time, grab your poles, call your buddies, get there, make some memories. Give us an elbow. Oh, I love you guys. Hey, we got maybe about 1 week of Winter Quest left, maybe 2 if we get lucky, but I love it. All right, guys, have a good one. We'll see you on the next episode. That is my record fish so far on my new Cade Custom rod. Fish Mac, check that out. How sweet, man. Kevin knocked this one out of the park. So hey, she broke in, man.